The tariff war ignites China's social pressure cooker. Mass strikes and protests to sweep China. This is a suggestion via Discord. Let's go ahead and jump into this video immediately. Let's see where this takes us.
Pay my wages! Pay my wages! Workers at Shundi Opto Electronics in Wuzhen, Tongxiang City, Zhejiang Province are shouting in unison, demanding the company pay their overdue wages. The workers went on strike starting April 28th due to the company's long-standing failure to pay wages. The next day, they gathered in front of the Wuzhen town government to protest, continuing to pressure for the wages they've been owed since January. However, the police arrested several protesters on the spot.
Of course they did.
I'm
surprised you guys are even doing this.
And didn't let us eat.
Hey, another one. Look, the one over there was arrested again. The police arrested him directly. A worker at Shundi Opto Electronics connected with foreign media via phone. They said, over 1,000 of us went to the government to protest. We haven't received wages for half a year, and the boss owes too much money.
So this definitely was an ongoing problem way before the tariff situation started in the first place. So obviously when the tariff situation came in, specifically to this region, it affected them even worse than I think we in America absolutely could have even imagined.
The factory should have shut down a long time ago. The protest continued on April 29th, but the workers still hadn't received any clear responses. One worker angrily said, "The city and town governments haven't taken action, and they even blocked us and arrested over 10 people. We haven't committed any crimes. It's only right to demand our hard-earned money back." According to their description, there were not many police present at the protest site, only auxiliary police and traffic police maintaining order, with some personnel possibly hired temporarily. Public records show that Shundi Opto Electronics Technology Company Limited was established in 2000, located in the Minghe Economic Park in Wuzhen, Zhejiang Province. The company's legal representative is Xang, and it operates in the production and sale of lighting appliances, light source components, and decorative lighting. According to data from Chi, the company is currently listed as a defendant, with an unpaid court judgment amounting to 16.9 million yuan. As of now, neither Shundi nor the Wuzhen town government has issued further statements on the matter. On the first day of the strike, a factory official stated that the company was unable to pay wages due to a supplier lawsuit, which led to the freezing of its accounts. However, workers did not accept this explanation and only wanted to know when they would receive their wages.
Of course. Because, bro, why would you want to work specifically for a really long time, maintain the contract, let's say, the company itself is making money, but yet you're the one not receiving any type of income? Of course, you're going to not want to partake in this any longer, guys, right?
Recently, with the escalation of the U.S.-China trade war, the impact of tariffs, and the ongoing economic downturn, issues with wage arrears and strikes have sprung up across the country. In addition to Shangdi and Zhejiang, workers at the Suining Shangda Electronics factory in Sichuan also went on strike to demand their wages.
On strike, on strike. Suining Shangda Electronics is on strike, see? All the workers are not getting paid.
On April 27th, workers at the Shangda Electronics factory collectively went on strike, protesting the company's long-term failure to pay wages and Social Security. The workers revealed that the company had not paid wages this year, and Social Security payments haven't been made since June 2023. As of that night, employees still hadn't received their wages. Public records show that Shangda Electronics was established in 2004 and claims to be a leading company in China's FPC, flexible printed circuit industry. It has production bases in Shenzhen, Guangdong, Huangshi, Hubei, and Suining, Sichuan Province. The company's legal representative is Li Xiaohua. Notably, workers at Shangda Electronics production base in Hubei also went on strike for unpaid wages and Social Security on September 26, 2024. Last May, a Sichuan-based media outlet revealed that Shangda's factory in Sichuan had never kept its promise of paying wages on time. In Chongqing, which is close to Sichuan, there were also reports of unpaid wages from the construction site of the 2077 Cyber City project. From April 26th to 27th, workers at the construction site gathered to demand payment, with several workers going to the local police station for 2 consecutive days to seek their wages.
Here they come again, asking for money. It's been going on for dozens of days now, and we're at the police station to ask for money. These migrant workers are here to get their wages. Give us money, give us money. They're all here to demand their wages.
What's wrong
These
with that?
migrant workers asking for money are more infuriating than working for money.
On April 28th, over 10 migrant workers gathered at a project site in Xi'an to demand their unpaid wages. The workers reported that they haven't been paid since February.
This is a worker. This is from the production contract team. This is also a worker. This is the boss. This is also a big boss.
The boss?
Look at what is happening in China.
The bosses are getting paid, guys. Oh.
One of the workers gathered in front of the project's entrance, some holding banners, and their emotions were high. Many passersby stopped to watch, and the scene became chaotic. The project management did not provide any official response and kept silence when questioned by reporters and citizens. One worker, visibly agitated, said, "We've been working since the 10th of the Lunar New Year, and it's been delayed until now with no settlement. We can't even get our living expenses." They had tried multiple times to communicate with the project department, but received no clear answers. Left with no other option, the workers gathered to raise awareness and seek attention from relevant authorities. Also in Shanxi, on the morning of April 30th, several migrant workers climbed to the top of a building at a construction site to demand their wages.
大家都看，都快来。
Look, everyone's coming. Look how bad it's gotten. According to them, they had gone to the Xi'an municipal government a few days prior to ask for help in recovering their wages, but they were unsuccessful. Desperate, they climbed to the rooftop to demand their wages.
When you say climbed, what do you mean by that?
One woman fainted and was later sent to a hospital for treatment. On April 25th, in Liao, Inner Mongolia, several construction workers gathered on the rooftop to protest unpaid wages. There have been numerous reports online from netizens complaining about unpaid wages. One netizen shared, "China Railway 25th Bureau's 6th Division owes me over 70,000 yuan for work done at the Jingxi train station from 2012 to now. I'm owed 20,000 yuan by a company. Over 20 workers are still waiting for their wages. We worked at the Chongqing Fuli City 3 years ago, and we still haven't been paid. Zhongwu Company owes us over 100,000 yuan.
Guys, there are a lot of holes here. Okay. So the more you guys send me these videos, the more I start to realize that, okay, listen, there are massive issues, and it's not just these tariff situations at all. There are like inherently, like it seems to be like baked in issues over there in China, getting people paid their wages here. Guys.
I've been waiting for 23,000 yuan from Beirong in Jiangsu for 3 years. Netizens from Shanxi, Sichuan, and Inner Mongolia also shared their experiences. I worked at a mechanical and electrical engineering company in Tangshan, and they owed me last year's wages.
Last year?
They owe us 60,000 yuan for 3 people. Other workers from places like Yulin in Shanxi, Guangdong, Chongqing, and Xinjiang also reported wage arrears. Zhongjian 8th Bureau in Yulin owes me
Look, are these like government projects or they're all like private projects?
wages from last December to April this year. Another said they owe me wages from 7 to 8 years ago. We worked at a construction site in Yunnan, and they still owe me over 40,000 yuan. Another shared, Weihai Huagao Construction Installation Engineering Company owes me 49,300 yuan. In response to the situation, the leader of the 1989 student movement, Ji Feng, told Radio Free Asia that he recently returned to Beijing from his hometown in Guizhou. On the way, he spoke with many business owners who expressed their frustration. They said that business is tough, almost impossible to make money, and they're running out of funds. Some business owners even said they'd rather go to jail because they feel powerless.
Yeah, guys, it definitely looks like that's what that's the path you're going to end up taking. Generally, you don't just go to China and start protesting and things like that, guys. That's generally not a thing. So I'm definitely surprised that people are actually doing it. They're risking it all. But I think that basically, it says a lot in this context. You're willing to risk your life to prove your point of how you're owed money and how your government is not actually helping these processes, right? It's crazy. It's absolutely ridiculous here, guys, right? Now, if you understand like anything about how the CCP works specifically, like you'll start to kind of put together that if they don't work, Xi Jinping is not in power type of thing. That's not he has to make sure that they can literally live, right? I mean, that's the purpose of it, of that style of, let's say, governing.
When wage arrears occur, workers often go to government departments to protest. As soon as there's a protest, businesses must find a way to borrow money to pay the workers. For instance, if wages are overdue for 3 months, they have to be paid monthly even if the company needs to borrow money. If the payment isn't made on time, the government may arrest people. Jifeng further pointed out that the employment situation has been grim for a long time, and it didn't just worsen after the China-US trade war. In fact, it started deteriorating around the end of the pandemic. When the pandemic ended, the government was optimistic about a possible recovery. Right. But instead, businesses didn't get the rebound they expected. Instead, what came instead were retaliatory tariffs.
Yeah, guys, really quickly, when it comes down to specifically the 19, let's say, things that happened after 2019, guys, China, the United States of America, basically every single country on Earth has been affected. Specifically, the countries that dealt exclusively, let's say, in either the U.S. dollar or they backed their currency off of the U.S. dollar. These are the countries that are definitely going to be the ones that are suffering the most consistently. Most likely, the reason why so many people started running towards the United States of America over the last, 6 years, guys, right? Because of this, the pandemic affected the entire planet, and we're still feeling repercussions of these mass shutdowns, guys.
Wu Shezhi, the director of the China Issues Research Center and an advisory committee member of a Taiwan think tank, said that while China's economy has continued to grow since the pandemic, the growth rate has significantly slowed, consumption is weak, and the job market is worsening. Currently, global distrust of China is rising. The high tariffs promoted by President Trump have made China's economic situation even worse. There's been a massive outflow of capital, and foreign investment has also slowed down, resulting in a shortage of job opportunities. Moreover, China's manufacturing sector is facing overcapacity, and businesses are struggling to operate, making it difficult to pay wages. Some businesses are even laying off workers to cope. Bloomberg cites a Goldman Sachs report saying that the high tariffs imposed by the U.S. on Chinese imports may cut off the access of Chinese products to the U.S. market, potentially affecting up to 20 million jobs, or about 3% of China's workforce.
Yeah, guys, they basically back their economy off of exporting and manufacturing. All right, and specifically exporting to the United States of America, and of course, while doing this, being able to legitimately undercut whatever any other country can basically pay, right? While manipulating their currency, making it legitimately just the most attractive financial deal you could possibly make in trade. Yeah, this is the repercussions of this. Like, there's only so long that a country wants to sit there and say, you know what, we're going to go ahead and import every single thing. All right. While people are literally suffering through because they don't have jobs, manufacturing is basically gone, et cetera, et cetera. I'm sorry. I hear it. I see the pain, guys. I'm not blind to the literal pain that we're seeing that people are going to be experiencing, and they are currently experiencing, guys. Keep in mind, about 2,000 yuan equals about 140 US dollars, right? So when they're saying these gigantic numbers, understand you need to do some massive division. And the average person here that's basically making the things for everyone are getting paid $140 to $280 a month, guys. All right, so yeah, they've been undercutting us for a really long time. There's no way that a single American would basically do any of these, do a job that pays that amount of money, because you can't do anything with that amount of money in the United States of America, guys. Not like legitimately.
Wu Shezhi emphasized that if the U.S.-China trade war continues to escalate, the situation will be difficult to resolve. Yeah. Goldman Sachs predicts that up to 20 million people could be laid off. This is in addition to the 12 million university graduates entering the job market in June. With both the layoff pressures and the increase in job seekers, the unemployment issue will become even more severe. According to estimates from economists at Nomura, in 2024, the U.S. accounted for 14.7% of China's total export value. Including re-export trade through Hong Kong, this figure rises to 15.2%. If the redirected trade flows are included, the proportion reaches 20.6%. Considering that about 16.3% of export products are not affected by tariffs, the tariffs will directly impact China's GDP by 2.2%. They also warned that the real economic impact could be even greater because the shock will ripple into other areas, especially the service industries that support exports. Scott Kennedy, a China expert at the Center for Strategic and International Studies, believes that for Trump, this trade war is a way to show power, but for the Chinese government, it's a life and death issue.
It is.
A furniture exporter whose revenue comes 60% from the U.S. market said, "There's no way out through compromise. It's a dead end." As China's economy continues to decline, CCP General Secretary Xi Jinping is facing growing doubt and discontent within China. Yet he views the trade war as an opportunity to turn things around by creating an external enemy to rally internal support.
Yep. Yeah, I thought that exact thing.
On April 25th, the Chinese Communist Party held a meeting chaired by Xi Jinping. The meeting emphasized the need to respond to increased external shock impacts and the uncertainty caused by dramatic changes to the external environment, and set the goal of stabilizing employment, businesses, markets, and expectations. This reflects China's vulnerabilities in the global supply chain, as well as multiple challenges in foreign trade, employment, and real estate. Professor Shen Guoxiang from Nanhua University in Taiwan pointed out that the Chinese Communist Party's Politburo meeting repeatedly emphasized two main lines: stability and struggle. The first focuses on stabilizing the internal economy and social order, while the second continues the narrative of great power competition in foreign affairs. However, there's a significant gap between the actual outcomes of these two lines and their policy goals, even showing signs of contradiction. On the socioeconomic security front, the Chinese Communist Party is trying to achieve short-term stability by strengthening ideological control and guiding public opinion. However, Shen Guoxiang said that deep-seated socioeconomic contradictions remain unresolved, and the high-intensity control is bringing side effects. Currently, China's internal economic pressures are significant: weak consumption, high youth unemployment, escalating local debt risks, and other problems remain unresolved. The CCP is addressing the current crisis with heavy stability maintenance measures, while workers are protesting for their wages. Bloomberg reported that through interviews with dozens of people from China's business and government circles, it's evident that nationalism is rising in China. A 145% tariff level could completely sever trade between China and the U.S. Public sentiment is a key factor in the CCP's resistance to the U.S., but for Xi Jinping, the stakes are particularly high. Trump has repeatedly urged Xi to call and reach an agreement, betting that high tariffs would force Xi to compromise. However, Xi Jinping cannot show weakness. He needs to show CCP officials his strong stance. On April 28th, CCP Foreign Ministry spokesperson Hua Chunying once again denied claims, stating that leaders of the two countries have not spoken recently. She continued to emphasize that there have been no discussions or negotiations on tariffs between the two sides.
Listen, Xi Jinping definitely has to appear excessively strong, and not even like normally, hey, I'm a little bit strong today, right? No. He needs to be excessive with his strength, because with his people basically suffering through this, specifically not getting any type of wages, their businesses are shutting down, people are stopping the purchase of like luxury goods, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of things happening right now there. Okay, the last thing he can do is look weak, because he will get eaten alive out there. In this context, at least, guys, he will. He, in fact, will. His position depends on his people having work. All right. And when all this started happening here, I was like, listen, we need to do about 400 to 1,000% tariff. If you want to fix it right now, 400 to 1,000%. All right, because what will happen is that all of the companies that are basically pushing out all of these things to the United States of America, undercutting every single American worker and company, right? They're going to lose their business. They're going to lose it within months, because no one is going to buy a single thing. Like, not even the odd person saying, you know what, we're just going to go ahead and eat the cost. No, okay, 400% to 1,000%. No one will buy any of it, right? And when that happens, everything is just going to be like expedited in terms of Xi Jinping literally coming to the table and trying to work out a deal that makes all the sense in the world to us, guys. Okay. But all right.
However, South Korea's Chosun Ilbo reported that around 7 a.m. on April 24th, a senior official from China's Ministry of Finance entered the U.S. Treasury building, accompanied by 10 staff members. Chinese personnel attempted to prevent journalists from taking photos. Why does the CCP deny U.S.-China tariff negotiations? U.S. Treasury
Trump is also.
Secretary Scott Bessent explained that the CCP was appealing to a different audience. No matter how the CCP pretends, even if they don't admit to speaking with Trump, this toughness does nothing for China's economy.
Nope.
The living standards of ordinary Chinese people will only continue to deteriorate, and more protests will emerge. In fact, long before President Trump initiated the tariff war in April, China had already seen numerous strikes and protests over unpaid wages. For example, Shandong Taishan Steel Group Limited had overdue commercial bills amounting to 1.17 billion yuan.
Oh,
making it the first steel company to collapse in 2025.
okay.
On February 17th, hundreds of investors gathered outside the company's office and factory, demanding the company pay off its financial funds and settle payments for goods. Videos circulating online showed numerous protesters gathered in front of Taishan Steel, confronting the police and security guards while chanting, "Pay us back, pay us back." Protesters even blocked the road outside the factory. Several related videos on mainland social media were quickly deleted. Also on February 17th, a fire broke out at the Chongqing Industrial Park, burning for a full 7 hours. According to sources, the arsonist was a worker protesting unpaid wages. Mr. Deng, who witnessed the fire, said, "Just thinking about it is frightening. There's only one street separating us from the scene." He works at a nearby machinery factory, and the company's dormitory is just a street away from the burning factory. He said the area on fire was quite large. The warehouse was basically burned down, and it was filled with flammable materials like plastic. On February 16th, in Shanxi's Luliang City, several sanitation workers went to the government to demand justice for their unpaid wages. On February 18th, a family member of one of the workers said, "My parents have worked as village sanitation workers for 600 yuan a month, but they haven't been paid for 20 months. They only received part of their wages for 2023, and the rest haven't been paid for over 3 years." The sanitation company responded, saying, "The government's payment has been slow, and the company is under financial pressure." This shows that wage arrears, layoffs, and company closures have become a normal part of Chinese society, with many people losing their jobs. The entire society is becoming increasingly disordered, and the CCP's regime is facing significant pressure. With the ongoing U.S. tariff war, China's economy could collapse completely, and the wave of protests will continue relentlessly. Each wave of protests could be even bigger than the last, and China's society will inevitably implode and collapse.
600 yuan comes out to about $82.52 a month, guys. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and end that video out here, guys. I'm definitely surprised to kind of find out that there was definitely issue, because again, not a lot of information based, ever really leaves China. Not a lot of like actual information, and it's not like look at how amazing I am type propaganda, right? These videos are not normal, right, to encounter, at least, right? These are still not going to do anything, right, to stop. Like, for example, an American seeing this does not, it doesn't change my perception of, bro, we're getting a bad deal. Let's come to the table, right? It doesn't change my mind, right, at all. It shouldn't change yours, right? What's happening has nothing to do with anything else but the concept of greed. Like, so even under communism, there's a gigantic amount of like literal super uber rich people, right? There are, right? How is that a thing? I don't know. Guys, but either way, listen, let me know in the comments what you guys think. If you guys are new here, please like and subscribe. Let's join the conversation, guys, all right? In the meantime, I'll catch you guys later.